All right, cool. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. So yeah, man, I just want to go ahead and ask you some questions to kind of get your perspective and experience with the program.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds like a good time.
Cool, cool. So you can start off by just introducing yourself and yeah, you just start with basic introductions.
Hey, so my name is David. What you doing? Rejadere, however you want to say it. I've been here for since I was four. Came to the U.S. and I've always had a travel for passion. And my father was in the military, so we traveled a lot. I came back, went to school, got into IT, and really, didn't find the area where I felt comfortable. So as I got into it, I started off help desk and things of that nature, and just kept going. And I met you. We linked up. We had a conversation. You told me about this program, and so I was like, we can always keep my open mind, and that's where we are.
Okay. All right, cool, cool, cool. So the first question I want to ask is, what was your situation or challenge before joining the AWS Cloud Engineer program?
I think it was probably the mindset on what's needed to get to the next level or to transfer to a different um, area in IT. Uh, and with that being said, it's usually when you're doing service desk, you have a different mindset on what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. With the cloud, it's more so you see the bigger picture for the most part all the time. And and that's one of the things that I didn't understand or I didn't have any guidance on, and I think that's what's really changed for me.
Okay. In terms of the mindset and guidance, how do you feel like this program helped you just with those two things?
It was structured. It was really structured so that you you know what you need to know. B, you have to practice it. And so with that being said, everything comes down to what type of effort you're willing to put in. The reading, the practicing, nobody's going to give you anything. There's no free handouts in this. And so you have to be able to know what you need to know. And then when you go to the interviews, you got to be able to know what you need to know as well. Um, so it was just a complete mind shift, making sure that I understood the process, and that's where we are.
Okay. Do you feel like the resources in the program gave you the tools to be able to like go out there and like just be proactive, know what pretty much to be successful in getting, these jobs?
Yeah, I mean, because the program basically gives you the building blocks, right? So the basics, and as well, we always go in depth as well. So it's not just that you're starting on the surface level and you have to work your way up. You get the beginners, the intermediate, and advanced. So when you're coming through, you can progress slowly but surely as you step into each level, I would say. And then as you get to the advanced one, you can just keep practicing, and there's always opportunities for you to do things on your own time, just to play with it even more.
Okay. All right. And how do you feel like the material was broken down, like taught? You felt like it was digestible, understandable?
Yeah, it was like I would say it was given to you in a as a what do you call it?
Fifth grading.
Yeah. So if you have to basically have, when you a meal prep, that's exactly what it is. It's what you need in order for you to maintain and gain, So I definitely followed that path. Everybody wants to, and I think one of the things that we always fight is we like to do things our own way. But if somebody's done it before and has succeeded at it, just copy what they're doing. You don't have to create a new rule or change a new book. Just do what they do and then go from there and see and it's gonna definitely work for you.
Okay. Literally just copy and paste the blueprint that already works, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, most definitely.
So why did you choose this cloud engineer program over other options?
Um, I believe that when our conversation sparked it, most definitely, it was different coming, seeing the growth that you've had, the experience that you have now as a cloud engineer. So you can always have people that tell you that come, this is going to be great for you. But at the end of the day, you always want to have somebody you see doing it that can show you what you need to do as well and has experienced it so that you don't have to basically, guess on what you're doing. You told me, hey, this is what I've did. This is how I did it. And I was like, okay, cool. I can just follow that. And that's what I did.
Follow this step by step, and you got the same results I got.
Same results, same steps. I mean, like there's no need to change any type of code or blue book if it works, right? You only adjust it, right? And so that's what I thought.
Okay. So how did the program help you achieve your goal of landing a six-figure position?
It gave me the knowledge to do that. So when I was applying for these positions, for the most part, I couldn't verbalize what I needed to say, right? And with that being said, that's probably the most important portion of the program is teaching us what we need to do, how to do it, but also making sure that we're able to speak the language, the cloud language. And at the end of the day, if you can't speak the cloud language, you're not going to get anywhere because people always know that you don't know what you need to know. And you can't BS anybody in this space. Man, you can you can act like you don't, but you can't BS when it comes down to the actual day-to-day process of what you need to know. And so it's always good. I think the first steps to make sure you know the information, practice it on your own time, make sure you understand it, make sure that you can also speak it to anybody. And once you get comfortable with that, I think you're probably at the best point right there. All you can do is build from there.
Okay. So the next question I want to ask is so like what skills or knowledge did you gain from this program that you didn't have before?
Well, so and with through this with IT, with help desk administrations, Azure, the Exchange portal, things of that nature. What I didn't know was AWS. I didn't know that AWS had so much and included into it. I just look at AWS as well, actually, I just looked at Amazon as my delivery packages, right? But when you go and look at AWS and all the things that it allows you to do, like you can go and migrate servers right there from AWS. Nobody knew that. I didn't know that. I didn't know how important AWS is to, and how many companies actually use AWS, right? And so just it just opened my mind to the whole cloud experience. I think I was probably limited just to Azure and the Microsoft products, but looking at it and seeing that you can use cloud engineering for all the three major platforms with just documentation, right? And it just makes it opens a world that nobody, I guess, 10 years ago thought we could do right now. Like just the ability to manage and create servers without thinking is just mind blowing, right? Um, it really is just mind blowing that we are able to do these things at such a quick rate and pace that for 10, 20 years ago would probably not possible.
Mhm. And like I remember speaking to one of my VPs of engineering at one of my jobs, but he was just like he loves the cloud because how quickly you can go from MVP, like a minimal viable product, like if you're building a software and how quickly you can scale that without buying so much servers and managing that infrastructure. You can just go on AWS and spin up a EC2, put that software on there, and it's just like you can, you know, put it to the market and see how it goes, and instead of like paying so much money to like test out to see if this MVP is going to work or not. Um,
Yeah, just for the hardware.
Yeah, yeah, it is nuts. All right. So, what was the biggest change in your life after securing the six-figure position?
For the most part, it's really just your life really changes. You are not as you get your time back basically. And I think we really don't understand how much of time that goes into going to work. The process of getting up, driving, going to work, and then coming back, depending on how far you live or the traffic. But we give a lot of our day to work, and this allows me to basically do what I need to do without having to worry about how much time I have to put into work. And with time comes freedom. So yeah, I can always put my free time into other things that I know that will benefit me and my family.
Okay. So, where do you think you'd be now if you hadn't joined the program?
I'd probably still be in the same dead end circle that I was before. It's with most things, it's nowadays it's about who you know, not what you know. So with that being said, I think with cloud it's different because you have to know what you know. You can know somebody, but they can't they can't babysit you as well. So you have to know what you need to know. There's no inner buts or about it. So this really taught me that there are spaces where you can know what you know and succeed, and that's going to basically benefit your whole life and family, right, for the rest of your life. This is a skill that I can take anywhere. This is probably recession proof as well, because I can go probably to Thailand and still do the same thing with the same effect. And so just this the ability to the freedom that it brings, the the location. If I wanted to leave the US and go anywhere, I can't. I have the skill sets to work anywhere in the world and be successful. So this program is really life changing in that aspect, in all aspects.
Okay. Cool, cool. So, you got that location freedom because you can work anywhere in the world. You have a lot more time freedom, right? Because you don't have to spend time commuting, meal prepping, right? Prepping the day before. Maybe you have to wash your clothes, iron, all that stuff. You wake up and you're at, and
Uh,
not necessarily, financial freedom, right? But definitely puts you in a position where you can make a substantial amount of money, job stack, scale to $500,000, and then invest that money, knowing how to invest, which is, what we teach at the 1% University, to actually get that financial freedom. Um, but nah, you're in good hands.
I
Um,
appreciate you, man.
of course. So what would you say to someone who's considering joining the AWS Cloud Engineer program, but is unsure?
I would tell them, man, take that step. You are not going to go anywhere by being stagnant or placent. Take the step. Make sure that you understand that it's all going to come through what you do, right? And everything that we do nowadays is based on what we do. So make sure you come in, do the work, follow the steps. You don't have to create anything. Just find the path that helps you be successful, and you'll be great. The main thing that you got to do is say, find what studying path works for you, right? Once you get that, lock it in. Make sure you do it at least 30 minutes every day. An hour is great as well, but be consistent about it. Make sure you learn it and then teach it to your kids if you have any, or just record yourself. And once you do that, practice it, practice it, practice it, practice it. Make sure you're able to talk to anybody and everybody. And then once you're there, man, you'll be right here with us, talking about it, saying, hey, this was the program that really changed my life. And I hope that for everybody.
Sounds amazing. Um, yeah, I'm really glad because, not too long ago, within this year, you started this, you put in the time, you put in the energy, and now you have this skill set for the rest of your life. No one can take this away from you. Where it's like you actually never have to worry about money again. Even if something happens and you're crazy, crazy in debt, you know, you don't. ever have to worry. Long term, you'll always be fine because you know you can make six figures and also scale to $500,000, which is the next steps. I'm going to show you how to do that. Um, 25,000 a month after tax in the state of Maryland, average. But you never really have to worry about money. You've done the hard part. The hardest part was getting that first job. And so now we just run the same play. Um, and even if you leave all your jobs, you can always come back and, get this same type of freedom. So yeah, man, I'm really happy for you. Like generally, I really.
Appreciate it, man.
Hmm.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. I really, it was a long experience, man. It was, I guess from the beginning, you're looking at it, you're starting it, and you're like, oh man, it's a lot of studying again. Nobody wants to go to school again. But uh, I think if we, the mindset is that every day you should be learning something, right? And if you're not learning anything, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're just standing still. So I think the change in the mindset is think of think of learning as not just a one-time thing, it's an everyday thing. And then once you look at it like that, you're going to learn something new every day, and that's the process, and that's the growth that's going to take you to the next level. That's what happened for me. And once I said, hey, I want to learn something new every day, you know, it changed. Things just started clicking. And just take, I guess people, not every opportunity is going to be there forever, but make sure you take care of the opportunities that are given to you and you're blessed with, and make sure you take it to the fullest. You'll be always, I think in 2 years, 3 years, we'll all look back and say, yes, you made it, right? And I think that's the goal for everybody who wants to enter the program, is say, yes, I made it.
Okay. So this is just a side question from what you just said, but where do you, following the path that you're on, continuing the 1% university, right? Junior year, senior year, where do you, where do you think, based off the stuff that you know and, of what's available in the program, the 1% university, where do you think you'll be in the next, let's say 4 years, or let's say 2 years, in terms of financial, you know, just in general. Like you can touch on financial first. What's up to you?
Financially, man, I think in 4 years, if the missus allows it, I'll be out of the country. uh, just that freedom of, I think I like living in other countries. I like traveling. So for me, I got younger kids, but just giving them the ability to see life from a different viewpoint is um is amazing, right? Because for the most part, most kids don't leave their state or their city ever, right? And just giving your kids the same opportunities that you may or may not have had, but giving them life experiences that they'll treasure for the rest of their life. Me, I was a military brat, so I got to see the world outside of the US at an early age, and it changed how I looked at things, how I viewed the world, that, it's not just about the US, there's different countries, different people. And so, um, with the money that I'm able to get, I'm able to show my children that there's life outside the US, that you can interact with different people, see how their culture is, and not diminish yourself from that. Two, uh, the ability to invest and how to scale that is valuable, because you want to have money, make money while you sleep, and that's the best way to do it. Investing, putting money in different pockets, things that you know that you buy, go ahead and invest in it, right? Why not? You already put money into it, get that money back slowly but surely. Um, and the program teaches us about that, and making sure that, you're just not thinking about getting money, spending money. No, make sure that you're looking at the future as well. And I think the third most, and probably the most, for me, the most important was the community, right? Um, you have people that are in it with you, right? And so they can hold you accountable when you're slipping, when you're dipping. And if you need help, you have people there for you, right? You don't always have to do everything by yourself. And like we always say, it takes community, right? And that's what this program is a community of like-minded individuals trying to reach the same goals. So if I can help you in any way, shape, or form, by all means, like that's the goal. If anybody needs any advice, anything that they would like to ask questions about, they can always reach out to me. And I think that's those three things are what makes this program outstanding.
Okay. All right. Yo, amazing, amazing answers. I really appreciate that. Is there anything you want to leave the audience? Maybe just advice or just anything at all, before we hop off. You could say no, you don't have to force it, but just anything that comes to mind.
Well, man, I think the number one thing is take it seriously. When you come into it, take it seriously. Take it like it's your job. Make sure you put time into it every day. I mean, and we all have busy schedules. We all have things that we have to take care of, but make sure that you put this as a priority, and you'll come out. You'll see the rainbow at the other side if you definitely do that.
Okay. Yeah, I typically say, take this. When I was studying, I was like telling myself I need to take this like this. Will this is going to change my life. I was doing help desk, I think like 45K. Um, took me 2 months to get my first offer letter. Um, but I took it serious. I was like, yo, let me take it serious. Like it's going to change my life, and it did. Like paid off all my debt in 1 month. Retired my mom, and my dad's coming soon, and got my own place now. It's nuts. I'm scaling to making my, retiring my 9 to 5. It's absolutely crazy, and it's like it's not even that difficult. It's just the hardest part is just being consistent and putting it as a priority. Like that is the hardest part for most people, just putting something as a priority and being consistent. So, just wanted to touch on what you just said too, but yeah, I really appreciate your time and energy for, putting it into the program, you seeing your life being changed, and also, having this call with me.
And man, I always thank you for the invite. Thank you for the opportunity, man. I wouldn't be here without
And I mean, thank God.
you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But not once again, I really appreciate you, and thanks again.
Man. Till next time.
Yes, sir.